Welcome. My name is Ephraim Katsir, and on behalf of Sephardic Heritage International in DC, or SHIN-DC, thank you for joining us for this momentous occasion today as the embassies of Greece, North Macedonia, and Bulgaria and SHIN-DC present cosmopolitan journeys through traditional music in Greece, North Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Serbia. Thank you to our co-sponsors, Seattle's Sephardic Network, Hellenic American Women's Council, Stella Sephardic Table, Bendichas Manos, our Sephardic family, Congregation Orve Shalom, Temple Moses, World Dance and Music Institute. Thank you to Rose and Rob Capon and Stella Hanan Cohen. And I'd also like to say thank you to Larry Weiner, Henry Goldberg, and Betsy Platt. This program will explore the connections between the traditional music of the Balkan countries, highlighting also the Jewish Ladino music of the region. And SHIN-DC is proud to host this momentous cultural collaboration among these three bordering nations. We will now receive opening remarks from Her Excellency Alexandra Papadopoulou, Ambassador of Greece to the US.
Thank you, Ephraim, and greetings to everyone. It is a pleasure for me to be joining Sephardic Heritage International for this second round of Cosmopolitan Journeys with sounds from the music of Greece, North Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Serbia. You may recall that the first event was a musical conversation about shared melodies of Greek, Iraqi, and Sephardic traditions, for which we were most happy to partner with Sephardic Heritage and look forward to more cooperation as we continue this interwoven musical journey. For this event today, I'm especially excited to have partnered with the embassies of North Macedonia and Bulgaria, Greece's northern neighbors. If I can judge by the first round of this series, this will be an exciting, informative, moving, even sentimental musical journey. We are joined once again by the multi-talented Greek musician and teacher Spyros Koliavasilis, who will guide us through a live musical conversation and journey, along with Dr. Judith Cohen and a very talented and committed group of musicians from the region. I'm certain that no matter which one of the above-mentioned countries you come from, you will hear surprisingly familiar tunes. And yet, as familiar as they sound musically, each one has a unique narrative that befits the traditions and poetic expressions of the diverse world that is the Balkans. The Balkans, a region in southeastern Europe, share an historical past, and the people of the Balkans share many cultural connections, especially through the oral transmission of music. The region shares so many music expressions and melodies, yet each is adapted and interwoven with so many local narratives, allowing each country and group to express its own history and overlapping traditions. The music of Southeastern Europe is constantly evolving and adapted to each nation's particular history. Given the fact that the Balkans and Southeastern Europe in general stand at the converging point of three continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa, they're in many ways the gateway that facilitates this productive and creative flourishing of musicality that connects the region, yet allows it to maintain its own unique traditions and norms. But I think it's best that we let the music speak for itself. I look forward to enjoying this event, and I hope that we all do the same. Thank you.
We will now hear from the Honorable Velma Petkovska, Charge d'Affaires from the Embassy of North Macedonia in Washington.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to address something that is extremely close to my heart, and it's music. I'm so happy, I'm so proud and grateful to have the Embassy of the Republic of North Macedonia as a part of this fantastic project, because it comes in sync with everything we believe in, with our passion for music, with our long-standing desire to make our contribution whenever it's possible, particularly to peace, culture, and arts. I want to thank Sephardic Heritage International and particularly its director, Franz Afrim Kadzir, not only for organizing this event, but also for their constant and tireless work to safeguard and to promote music as a cultural and natural heritage. I also want to thank the other speakers, my colleagues from the embassies of Greece and Bulgaria, for their active involvement and support to a joint cultural program called Cosmopolitan Journey through Traditional and Jewish Music in the Balkan countries. So many will ask what is in common between music and diplomacy. The most important thing is that music and diplomacy are in essence about communication. Without overstretching the analogy, I do feel how a sense of rhythm is important in getting our messages across. Also, music as well as diplomacy is a great way to create a bond between people and make them act as one. Music is a powerful means of connecting people, and music seems to make us feel good. But music is more than just a common pleasure. Music unites us. It gives us a feeling that only few have been able to describe it in words. And maybe I will put it best if I say, music is the great uniter, an incredible force, something that people who differ on everything and anything else can have in common. It bridges linguistic and cultural divides and is a vehicle for identity and expression like no other. So why is music such a powerful social glue? Most of us hear music from the moment we were born. Often we are lullabies and through many of the most important occasions in our lives. There is something about music that seems to bring us closer to each other and help us come together as a community. In Balkans, in North Macedonia, music is a social activity in which almost everyone participates. Music highlights our values with various traditions accompanied by melody. Many events of importance are celebrated with music, whether it is a birth, a graduation, or a marriage. There are love songs. There are work songs that accompany digging, chopping, and harvesting. There are songs of praise and criticism and songs recounting history. I could go on and on telling you about different experiences, how music is a way to bring all nations together, but I do not want to make my speech too long. I personally would like to see more mingling of music into our day-to-day lives with the challenges that confront us in this troubled world today. From day one, musicians and other people in arts have tried to bring peace and love to people of the world. In this note, I will say thank you to
Aroeste,
Vedran Boškovski, whose popularity from the Western Balkans to the United States shows how music can rise above cultural boundaries. It proves that melody, lyrics, rhythm, and harmony have the power to connect people to people. And finally, it proves the music as the most solid bridge between our past, our present, and our future. I hope you will enjoy their performance. And until we meet again, have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you both to Her Excellency Alexandra Papadopoulou, Ambassador of Greece to the US. Also, the Honorable Vilma Petkovska, chargé d'affaires from the Embassy of North Macedonia in Washington. Now, I'd like to thank Mrs. Marina Zhelyaskova, Cultural Counselor from the Embassy of Bulgaria in Washington, for sending us some remarks for today's program. Mrs. Marina Zhelyaskova.
Hello to everyone participating in today's wonderful cultural event. I'm Marina Zelaskova, Cultural Counselor at the Embassy of Bulgaria in Washington, D.C. On behalf of the whole embassy, I would like to thank Sephardic Heritage International, SHIN-DC, and the participants for connecting our countries, Bulgaria, Greece, the Republic of North Macedonia, and Serbia through the most natural link, that is music. Music is our universal language, and it has the great power to build intercultural bridges from Europe to the United States and throughout the whole world. It promotes in a unique way the soul, the character, and the spirit of our region and of Europe as a whole with its great cultural diversity. Please allow me to highlight the great role of Orfeia vocal ensemble in representing the rich and diverse musical heritage of Bulgaria and the region. Orfeia has the magical power to take you to cosmopolitan journeys through the captivating sounds of the Balkans, the beautiful melodies, unique rhythms, and the story of the region told through their music and great voices. I would like to especially thank the founder and artistic director of the ensemble, Tatiana Sorbinska, who together with all the performers are highly valued cultural ambassadors of Bulgaria. Now, in these challenging times, we need music and culture more than ever as a source of hope and self-preservation. For that reason, today's event is timely and high in its importance as a sign of unity and regional cooperation. Let me finally thank all of you once again for this wonderful event, and I wish you a joyful musical experience ahead and a constant spring of music and emotions. Thank you.
We thank Mrs. Marina Zeliaskova. And now we move on to the heart of our program, featuring Spyros Koliavasilis, Greece, Sarah Aroeste, North Macedonia and Ladino music, Vedran Boškovski, North Macedonia, Orfeia Vocal Ensemble, Bulgaria, Rosa Vocal Ensemble, Serbia, Dr. Judith Cohen, Ladino music in the Balkans. Now over to you, Spyros.
Hello everyone. Hello from Mediterranean Notes Music School, located in Gaithersburg, Maryland. I would like to thank the Sephardic Heritage International. I would like to thank also Ambassador Papadopoulou for the wonderful words that she addressed to my person. It's a great honor. All the ambassadors, all the fellow musicians and people that they respect and adore what we are represent. And of course the audience. So today, as you see, the instrument that I chose to perform with, it's the oud. It's one of the instruments that actually unites all the Balkan area and the Mediterranean area, all the religions. And I'm gonna, with this amazing instrument, I'm gonna try to give you a taste of a song that actually I discovered not long ago from the Romaniot community, from the area of Epirus, actually from the city of Ioannina, the beautiful city of Ioannina, and it's called Kina Glossa na Milisis, and it's the story of Esther. So Kina Glossa, the rhythm is an Epirotikos, and it's in Greek. Actually, it's one of the very few songs that we have, personally, I know, from the area of Epirus, from Greek Jewish people, Romaniotes, and it's a wonderful song. Kina Glossa na Milisis. γλώσσα να μιλήσεις, για μας να ομολογήσεις, κινησμένος να ξυπνήσεις, με κρασί να τους μεθύσεις. Ο βασιλιάς Σεβαστοπή του ρώτησε σαν τη δική του, τι εστε την δική του, την αγάπηση ψυχή του. So that was from the area of Spyros. I hope that you enjoyed it. And now we're gonna go to, since it's 1st of May, the song that's called Flower of Monevaskia. Λαλούδι της Μονεβασιάς. It's a Kalamatiano dance. It's one of the most common dances in Greece. And talks about the pride and the honor, metaphorically, of the women of Monevaskia. One of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. Greece is a very small country. Of course, beauty is all over the world. Greece is a very small country, but it has a plethora of dances and music styles and time signatures, musically speaking. And actually, this is the beauty that we share in this beautiful area of Balkan. We are such a small place all together, but at the same time, we share so many beautiful cultural elements of music, cuisine, dances, and we should be united. We should be happy. We should cherish and enjoy the sun of the Mediterranean and the music. So Luludi of Monembasias, this is the second song that I'm going to play for you today. And I would like to let you know that in the future we're going to have more events via Spyros Koliavasilis. And I definitely would like to thank again the Sephardic Heritage International, our beloved host Ephraim, that he always does his best. And I know it takes a lot of effort, energy, and passion and love to share and help to coordinate all these events. So Laludi της Μονεμβασιάς. And actually, it's not Kalamatiano, my mistake, it's Tsamiko. And as you know, Tsamiko, it's a dance that we share also with Albania. I don't know about Bulgaria, but for sure with Albania. So this is a metaphorical song about the pride, the honor, and how pure and clean consciousness are these ladies. and Λαλούδι της Μονεβασιάς, Flower of Μονεβασιάς. Thank you again for the honor, and I would like to pass to the next artist.
Thank you so much, Spyros. We now have Sarah Aroeste with music in North Macedonia, including Ladino music. Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to first acknowledge the Honorable Vilma Petkovska from North Macedonia. Thank you so much for your words, as well as Ambassador Papadopoulou from Greece and Mrs. Marina Zelyaskova from the Embassy of Bulgaria, and of course, SHIN-DC and all my fellow musicians. This is such a wonderful opportunity to share music. It truly unites us all. My family is from Monastery, which is today Bitula in North Macedonia. And I'm so excited to share music of my family and my community. The first song I chose to sing is called Oi Kimwevi Mezis, which is part of a tradition called Canticas de Parida, birth songs, because I believe that the first experience of a child into this world should be of music. And in this song, the whole community comes out to celebrate the birth of a new child. And as we've heard, singing is a community affair, which we really see from this song. The other reason why I chose it is because of the lyrics you see in the program have a unique spelling, because unlike some of its more cosmopolitan neighbors, Monastery was landlocked. It was surrounded by mountains, and it was able to preserve its own dialect of Judeo-Spanish that is less common in other places throughout the Balkans. So in 1927, the wonderful ethnomusicologist and linguist Max Luria did some field work in Monastery and transcribed this song using the sound of the language. So the spelling preserves the pronunciation of the monasteries from 1927, and it differs from contemporary spelling conventions if you are used to present-day Judeo-Spanish norms, and that will be reflected in the music that I sing as well. So, Oi Kimwevi Mezis. This would be sung either just using voice or drums. I'm just going to use my voice. Oi Kimwevi Mezis, passatis districture, mus nasio un figlio di carre di lune, vive la paride con su creature, quando la comadre disi dali, 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 disi la paride, oh Dio scappami, disi la sugge sili trage gai min sondiade o che buen pinu rivridado mus pive il parido chi mus trage vino o che pare rivridade vive la paride con suo creatore. Thank you. The next song I chose is called Edno vreme si bev ergen. And I chose this song because I have spent the last 5 years working in North Macedonia investigating the music of the Jewish community prior to World War II. This is either music that was sung by the Jewish community or music that reflected how the Jewish community lived in its surroundings prior to World War II. And I have enlisted many, many collaborators and partners in this endeavor. It's called the Monastery Project, and it brings together musicians primarily from Israel and North Macedonia to explore this music together. And we are actually premiering the live performance of the Monastery Project in North Macedonia this summer. We are starting in Bitola and then going to Štip and also to Skopje. So we are very excited to present. This is one of the songs in the Monastery Project. And the reason why I've chosen it is because it is about a local man who finds himself in the Jewish neighborhoods of Bitola and sees a very lovely girl. And the punchline of the song is that he tries to convince her to become Slavic. And this song is so representative of how different ethnic and religious communities lived side by side together before World War II. This song was from the 20th century and shows how the communities intermingled. And we have rhythm, a 7/8 rhythm. So I hope that you will sing along with me. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's a fairly common rhythm in North Macedonia and in the Balkans, but I hope that you will clap along and sing with me for this song. There's also a part of the song that says tra-la-la-la-la. Feel free to join in. Again, singing was a communal affair, so please feel free to sing along on a tra-la-la-la-la if you are so moved. And this song is not in Judeo-Spanish. It is in the Slavic language of North Macedonia. And again, it was a song that would have been sung prior to World War II and shows how these communities lived together. And I think it's just a beautiful, wonderful snapshot. And so here we go. Edno vreme si bev ergen emra pota sinemav. Edno vreme si bev ergen emra pota sinemav. Trai la 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 emra pota sinemav. Trai la 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 emra pota sinemav. Pasi tugnav na prosjetka vo Bitola. Pasi tugnav na prosjetka vo Bitola. Traj la 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 na prusietka wobitola, traj-la-laj, la-la-la-la-laj, na prusietka wobitola. Now we enter the Jewish neighborhood. Na prusietka wobitola, niz evreski tej mali. Na prusietka wobitola, niz evreski tej mali. Traj-la-laj, la-la-la-la-laj, niz evreski tej mali. Traj-la-laj, la-la-la-la-laj, niz evreski tej mali. Now we meet the Jewish girl. Damus tretna mama evrejka, soko siran sturini. Damus tretna mama evrejka, soko siran sturini. Traj-la-laj, la-la-la-la-laj, soko siran sturini. Traj-la-laj, la-la-la-la-laj, soko siran sturini. And now he asks her to be Slavic with him. I rekov po-slavianski, da se storit slavianka. I rekov po-slavianski, da se storit slavianka. Traj-la-laj, la-la-la-la-laj, da se storit slavianka. Traj-la-laj, la-la-la-la-laj, da se storit slavianka. Thank you. I'm now passing it on to our next artist.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Sarah Aroeste, everyone. We now have Vedran Boškovski with more music in North Macedonia. Over to you, Vedran.
Hi, everybody. I'm Vedran. Shout out to France for organizing this event. And especially to some of the people that I see that are connected today. Very special shout out to Corina Snyder. She's kind of like my partner in crime doing this music. We perform in two project formations. One is called Glass. It's predominantly like stripped down songs, and it's just usually one instrument and just the sing. The other one would be a band formation performing this music in like a more arranged sound with the instruments of the village tradition, also the more contemporary sounds of the city, from the Ottoman influenced Jalgia sounds, and also the Zurla tradition, which is the loud pipes that you'll see in the video of the instrumental version. I'm not going to talk too much about the lyrics. I'm mostly, a musician playing this music. The themes kind of overlap from in all the countries in the Balkans, and I decided to focus mostly to present the sounds and the instruments, and for you guys to see how this particular music is, not so much the lyrics, but the focus would be the sound.
Thank you, Vedran. We will now have the Orfeia Vocal Ensemble presenting music in Bulgaria. Orfeia Vocal Ensemble.
Zdravейте! Hello, we are Orfeia Ensemble, directed by Tatiana Sabinska. We're delighted to be the next stop on this musical journey, which is Bulgaria.
Our first song is Brala Moma Ruja Cvete. The soloist is Sarah Allard. A young maiden is picking flowers in a garden, where she falls asleep. A young bachelor comes down the street and sees her and says, "Wake up, your flower is wilting, and your boyfriend is getting married." The young maiden says, "That's all right, I'll pick another flower, and I'll forgive him." Brala Moma Ruja Cvete.
let me turn it over to Tatiana.
Hello, everybody. Folk traditions are an important part of the culture of a nation. This includes language, religion, rituals, customs, and of course, music. Diane is going to tell you about one special feature of Bulgarian traditional music. It's rhythms. Diane?
It tends to feature what are called regular rhythms. 2 beats to a measure, 3 beats, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4 time. But a real signature of the music of Bulgaria is our irregular rhythms. And Bulgaria has an extraordinary range of irregular rhythms. 5 beats, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15 beats to a measure. There are simple irregular rhythms, and then there are really complicated ones that combine other irregular rhythms, 5 plus 7, 7 plus 9. And this really is a signature of Bulgarian music, although there are regular rhythms as well. You'll be hearing irregular rhythms in the second song that we'll be doing. But first, Tatiana is going to give you some examples of some other of the wonderful, unique features of the music of Bulgaria.
Bulgaria is divided into 6 main traditional folklore regions: Thrace, Rhodop, Shop, Pirin Macedonia, North Bulgaria or Mysia, and Dobruja. There are many sub-regions. Traditions and dialects may be even different from village to village. The diatonic scale is used in all regions. In some regions, we can hear larger intervals between 2 neighboring tones, which is called Makam Hijaz. In Rhodop, we can hear a pentatonic scale without semitones. Now, I will take you on a quick journey through some of the regions, not all of them. The biggest region is Thrace, which stretches across central Bulgaria. Thracian music has lots of smooth and curly ornaments. Now I'll demonstrate part of one verse of a Thracian and Stranja sub-region song, Marimaro. I'll continue with the next region. The next region is Rhodop. It is in the south. The music there is full with glissandus and smooth melodies. And I'm going now to the next region. After Rhodop, I want to bring you to my home region, which is Pirin Macedonia, in the southwest corner of Bulgaria. Here we have very soft and beautiful harmony in thirds. I'll sing part of my song. Katerino mome, Katerino. Or also in dissonance, which is harmony in seconds with the sharp ornaments. go. After all of those demonstrations, because of the limited time and the other wonderful musicians we want you to hear, we will finish our journey with a medley from the Shop region, the area around capital city Sofia.
The music of the Shop region is characterized by a clear, sharp, piercing sound that you can hear all the way across the mountains. You'll also hear dissonances, two notes that are just a second apart that are also very typical of much traditional music in Bulgaria and that give it a very unique sound. We hope you enjoy it. Dva konya, two horses.
I support Spyros about we can have much more events like that with the all Balkans countries. That will be wonderful. Thank you.
Next, we have Rosa Vocal Ensemble with music in Serbia.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandra Denda. I am a co-founder of Rosa Vocal Group, and it's my pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you, Orfeia and Sephardic Heritage International, for having me. Thank you all for sharing your culture with us. I was super thrilled to witness the commonalities as well as the specificities of each region and each culture. And I agree, we should do more of this and connect and celebrate our traditions. So for this event, I selected two different songs from two different regions, kind of to showcase some of the different formats and specificities of songs that are sung in certain parts of Serbia. So we're gonna open up with Nevestinska pesma, or actually a song that, a bride-to-be song that comes from a region of Bosilgradsko Krajište, which is in the southeast of Serbia, really close to the border with Bulgaria. And actually the dialect that's spoken there is a very similar dialect that's spoken on the other side of the border. And actually I had some people from Bulgaria help me understand some of the words because I'm from the capital, from Belgrade, and was not as familiar to some of the words, and there were a lot of false friends. So I present you Gugutka Guka Vosoje, the dove is cooing. And this song is a song that's sung just with vocals and in unison, and it has it's sung in time, which we'll see another one will be completely in rubato, and it's in 7/8, the same subdivision that I believe Sara had of 3/2/2. I hope you enjoy it.
Gugutka guka vosoje lele, nevesta šeta po dvori. Gugutka guka vosoje lele, nevesta šeta po dvori. Nevesta šeta po dvori lele, i na gugutka govori. Nevesta šeta po dvori lele, i na gugutka govori. Guka Santa Kagukala Gukai midu mai gugut kolele Ia Santa Kagukala Ia Santa Kagukala lele Koga sambila primama Ia Santa Kagukala lele Koga sambila primama Koga me mama mi eshelele Pelo milice săteșe Koga me mama mi eshelele Pelo milice săteșe Koga me tat korane shelele Ruse mi kose rasteše Koga me tat korane shelele Ruse mi kose rasteše
The second song that we will present, it's sung in southwest of Serbia, and it's also sung in parts of Croatia, parts of Herzegovina. This one is a lullaby, and it's often sung, a lullaby to a beloved one, and it's often sung at funerals, and it features these kind of sounds at the end of each verse that are believed to have a magical character to chase the bad spirits away and clear the passage from the soul of the person when they transition to the other side of the world. And this one, unlike the other one, has a little bit more of dissonance, a little bit more of microtonal characteristics. It's in rubato, it's very drony, and it has a lot of intervals of seconds, which is specific for a lot of songs that are sung in different parts of Serbia. So this is Janko pod Jablonom. Janko, a man, it's a personal name, fell asleep underneath a tree.
Zaspo Janko pod Jablanom, mile moje drage, lepe moje crne oči, pogledajte na me, lepe moje crne oči, pogledajte na pod jablanom zlatnom granom, mile moje drage, lepe moje crne oči, pogledajte na me, lepe moje crne oči, pogledajte na Ja otrgo zlatno grano, mile moje drage, lepe moje name, lepe moje crne oči, pogledajte na
Thank you so much, Rosa Vocal Ensemble. And now we have our last feature for the evening. We have Dr. Judith Cohen with an overview of Ladino music in the Balkan countries. Over to you, Dr. Judith Cohen.
Hi, thank you so much. And first of all, before I say anything at all, thank you all so much. It was really wonderful to hear and also to see all of you. And like everybody else, I hope that we can do this in person sometime. Thanks also not only to all you musicians, but also the official representatives of Greece, North Macedonia, and Bulgaria, and to SHIN-DC for the invitation and all the wonderful work. And also hi to all my colleagues and friends that I see here on the screen, too many of you to name. So I'm here today both as an academic ethnomusicologist and a performer, So first of all, in Ladino songs, sometimes the things that seem most obvious to some of us, they're not the most obvious to everyone. So many people think, for example, that Ladino songs are ancient Spanish songs, and they ask me if I find them when I go to Spain. Well, I find them, but I only find them when Spanish artists have learned them and performed them, or Sephardic people have moved to Spain from wherever they were living in the diaspora, from Morocco, from the Balkans, from Turkey. Ladino songs really are a diaspora tradition. So the language that we refer to now as Ladino most of the time didn't even exist before the expulsion of the Jews in 1492 and around that time. Jews spoke the language of whatever region or regions of Spain or Portugal they lived in. They spoke Catalan, they spoke Castilian, they spoke Galician. Of course, they sang. We just don't know what the tunes were. We know what some of the words were, especially for the old narrative ballads, romances, the songs that tell a story. We know sometimes some of the words to old wedding songs or religious songs, but we never know what the actual tunes were. And in fact, most of the songs people hear and sing today are from centuries later. They're from the mid to late 19th century on. In terms of songs and language, Sephardic songs and language, two main diasporas developed. One was in Morocco, where they sing in both standard Spanish and Haketia. And the other, of course, is where we are today, virtually in the Balkans and Turkey, the former Ottoman lands, and Croatia also. We'll talk about Morocco some other time. There's no time today, and it's not what it's about, but keep it in mind that it's there. And I'll sing a bit for you, but I wanted to have just a quick word about genres of Ladino songs. So we have the narrative ballads, the songs that tell a story. The king got up one morning, he got onto his horse, he rode off, he picked up his sword, that kind of thing. Romances, which are often confused with how the word romanza in Ladino has developed, just the way the word ballad in English has changed its meaning. Life cycle songs, as you heard from Sarah, that wonderful birth song. Wedding songs, songs for death as well. Jewish calendar songs, paraliturgical songs through the Jewish calendar cycle, and then the general songs. And most of what people have heard in Ladino songs are these general songs. Love songs, topical songs, satirical songs, songs of daily life. Sometimes you hear cliches such as, oh, Sephardic songs are so passionate. Well, really they're the same degree of passionate and serious and funny and spiritual, body, intriguing, mundane, the same as the songs of any other tradition. They're songs that people sing. So another day when we have more time, I'll give you examples of all these, not today. You can see some of my instruments here, but the only instrument you need for Ladino songs is your voice. You can play any instrument you like. There are no forbidden instruments. You've just seen many instruments played by my wonderful colleagues. In medieval Europe, of course, they played medieval instruments. In Renaissance Europe, they played Renaissance instruments. When I'm playing medieval music, I often use the baudeville. If I'm doing Sephardic music, I sometimes use it, even though it's not a Sephardic instrument. Sometimes I play the oud, but when somebody like Spyros is around, I just very, very happily ask them to play so wonderfully. Women are especially associated with frame drums, and I'll play a couple of frame drums for you. I also, though, just wanted to show you, because of North Macedonia, my very first hand percussion drum was this tiny little darbuka, which I got in a marketplace outside Skopje in North Macedonia, way back 52 years ago when I first went to the Balkans traveling and hitchhiking in 1970, and I still have it and I still play it. But women usually are associated in the Mediterranean with frame drums, with drums that you hold up in your hand. Not only Sephardic women, not only Jewish women, not only Iberian women, but really all through the Mediterranean. And even modern instruments, we saw Sarah play the keyboard, that's another part of the long Jewish tradition of adapting local musical instruments and traditions. So I've been singing medieval music, which Sephardic music is not, by the way, and non-Jewish songs from North Macedonia, Bulgaria, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Croatia, Serbia, for over 50 years, since long before I worked with Sephardic music. Vedran, I wanted to tell you, I learned dances directly from Peca and Tadensovsky a long time ago. Ensemble Rosa, thank you for your wonderful singing. Zaspo Janko was actually the very first song I ever learned in a Slavic language, just a little bit differently from the way you do it, so it's one of my favorite songs ever. But Jews have lived for centuries, and they've been part of the music cultures of all these countries. And in Slovenia, in Kosovo, in Crna Gora, Jews have sung Sevdalinka, they've sung Greek songs, Turkish songs, songs of Muslims and Christians, songs about, in the 20th century, songs about Israel. And one thing that fascinated me when I began to sing and study Ladino songs is shared elements. So these can be instruments, they can be themes in lyrics and ideas, or specific elements. They can be whole melodies taken as what we call contrafactum when you write or sing different words to a pre-existing tune, or rhythmic patterns that I'll talk a bit about in a minute. In terms of singing style, what's interesting is older Sephardic women from Bulgaria and from North Macedonia, for example, they told me they never sang in village style. In fact, they told me some of them they didn't want to, which I thought was very sad, but that's what they said. They often knew the dances, they knew the rhythms, and they often knew the dances, sometimes just from learning them in school. Who else? You also mentioned, Tatiana mentioned vocal ornamentation, and Sarah did some beautiful ornamentation in her first song. Spyros, of course, sings with a lot of beautiful ornamentation. In Ladino songs, usually you hear ornamentation in the old narrative ballads, the story songs when only one person is singing. You don't usually hear it when it's a group song. You never hear the kind of wonderful glottal ornamentation that you were doing in that little bit of Zaspoyanko at the end. But a lot of ornamentations in the old style of ballad singing. Tatiana also talked a little bit about makams, and Spyros plays and sings in makam. You used to hear them a lot more in Sephardic songs of the Balkans and Turkey, not as much anymore. What else did I want to say about the rhythms? I'll just go into that a bit and then I'll stop. So many of the narrative ballads, the romances, which are where you mostly hear the ornaments, are sung arrhythmically. So, for example, many of us here have heard the great Flora Jagoda, que in Gan Eden esté, then she rests forever in the Garden of Eden, as the Sephardim say. Many of you have heard her sing Anderleto, the ballad that is classified in ballad classification as Landarico, which is a very, very old story and a lot of different tunes. So Flori sings it in a very arrhythmic, or sang it, I don't like using the past tense for Flori even now, in a very arrhythmic way. Anderleto, mi Anderleto. But it has tunes from Turkey, which are much more rhythmic. El rey que mucho madruga. From Morocco, even more ornamented. Levantóse el rey a cazar. And so on. But this is actually a ballad or a romance sung in Bosnia and in Turkey, which atypically for a lot of ballads or romances uses 7/8 rhythm. Now you all know 7/8 now. You may not have known it. Some of you already knew it. Hi Henry, hi Ian, hi a bunch of people. Some of you already knew this very well before today, and some of you now know it because Sarah explained it very clearly And in Ensemble Rosa's first song, we heard it. So 7/8 is so common. It's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2. When we first learned dancing, when I first learned these dances, we just learned them as slow, quick, quick. When I teach them in Spain, it's really annoying because I have to say, they have so many syllables, and I have to say, you know, if I'm doing left and right foot, like izquierda, derecho, 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 izquierda, izquierda for your feet. And that really doesn't work as well as right, left, left, that kind of thing. Slow, quick, quick. Rápido, despacho, rápido, rápido, despacho. It doesn't work. English works really well. Anyway, sorry for the digression. I didn't mean to do that. But let's look at how a couple of those songs work. So in, say, North Macedonia, you might hear a 7/8. Što mi je milo, milo I drago, vostruga grada mamo dukjanda imam. Or you might hear a slower one. Aver mi doide od solu nagrada, solun chanite besilka stavila. And what you won't hear, by the way, in Sephardic songs is adding a drone. They might add a harmony in thirds, especially in Bosnia or Croatia, but they're not likely to add the kind of drone that you get with this song. So this ballad, the Sephardic ballad, uses this rhythm, and it's a really odd thing because here you have a story song about a Christian girl who's been captured by the Muslims and become a queen, and she meets or sends for her sister who's a Christian captive. And it's sung now and again still in Spain, not very often in Spain and Portugal, but it's sung quite a lot by Sephardic Jews. So you have these Jewish people, both in Morocco and the Balkans, singing an old song about a Muslim and a Christian pair of sisters. Moricos los mis moricos, los que para Francia iban, ya se llevan una esclava y al rey se la traían. So I've recorded this rhythm a lot, sung also by Greek Jews from Thessaloniki, from Salonika, including a Holocaust song that was composed in a 7/8 rhythm in Ladino. Several songs are recorded from Buena Sarfati Garfinkel, who spent the first part of her life in Salonika and the rest of her life in Montreal, where I met her. Another common rhythmic pattern is also 7, but instead of 3, 2, 2, it's backwards. 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it's faster. You find it in the Black Sea among Greeks, Turks, Armenians. You find it in Bulgaria as a ruchenica. It's not very common in Ladino songs, but a very well-known one that many people know, and which also has words, of course, in Greek and Turkish, in Armenian, is La comida la mañana. Oh, mother, I am so in love, she says romantically, that the food that I eat in the morning for breakfast comes right back up in the afternoon. Doesn't that win the prize for romantic words? La comida la mañana, la tarde la traigo atrás, la querida la mi madre entiende que tengo amor. So then you can go on from 7 to 9. When you're in 9, you have more possibilities. You can go 2, 3, 2, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, just like I did that song, Što mi je milo. In 7, you can do it in 9. Što mi je milo en drago, vostruga dukjanda imam. But more commonly, we're going to hear 9 as the Sephardic Jews also sing it. 2, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 2, 3. Short, 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 long. Karşılama in Turkey, you hear devet torka in Slavic languages, devet just meaning 9. So in this one, the rhythm of the words in Ladino is affected, as actually sometimes happens in Spanish singing too. So instead of saying, estas casas tan hermosas, these houses so beautiful, you end up singing with the rhythm, estas casas tan hermosas, as if in English you were going to be singing something like, and these houses are so beautiful. Okay? Estas casas tan hermosas, estas casas tan hermosas, para que bailen las las novias para bodas. Para bodas las mis señoras, esta y otra. And I'm playing a few ornaments playing the drum. But usually the women, if they're playing for weddings, they're just going to play a really simple, practical rhythm for dancing. They're really just going to do a skeleton. Ram, tan, ta, 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 dum, ta, 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 ta. Estas casas tan hermosas, estas casas. They're not going to get all estas casas tan hermosas. And I've never heard Ladino songs in the other rhythms like 11 and 15 and 18. So, you know, those of you who do a lot of music in the Balkans, and I know there's lots of you here besides the two great ensembles and the teachers, you know, you have 11, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Senale sa doidinite mo madoine, senale sa doidinite. Or you have compound rhythms where you get all kinds of 7 and 8 together, getting 15. Or my favorite one, which I call after the 7-Eleven store, 7 plus 11, which is 18, you know. But I actually have not heard Ladino songs in those rhythms. I've heard them in 1 or 2 in 5. Los caminos de Cirqueji son llenos de arena. I've heard quite a few in 7, or either 7, the slow 7, and less often the fast 7. Quite a few in 9, but I've never heard any in those more complex rhythmic patterns. So there's tons more to say, and one of these days I'll say it all, or, well, I'll never say it all, but I'll say lots more of it for you. And again, thanks to all of you fantastic colleagues and friends, and to SHIN-DC and all the representatives of these countries that I first traveled to 52 years ago and have gone back to several times and hope to get back to again this summer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Judith. And what a cosmopolitan journey we've had today through traditional music in Greece, North Macedonia, Bulgaria, Serbia. And I'd like to thank our musicians again, Spyros, Koliavasilis, Aroeste, Vedran, Boškovski, the Orfeia Vocal Ensemble, and Rosa Vocal Ensemble, and Dr. Judith Cohen. To those who are observing, I just want to say Eid Mubarak, and also Chodesh Tov. Have a good new month for those who are keep observing the Jewish calendar. To everyone, we hope to see you again soon in person. And I would also like to end by thanking the embassies of Greece, North Macedonia, and Bulgaria. Thank you so much again to Her Excellency Alexandra Papadopoulou, Ambassador of Greece to the US, the Honorable Vilma Petkovska, Chargé d'Affaires of the Embassy of North Macedonia in Washington, and Mrs. Marina Jeliazkova, Cultural Counselor at the Embassy of Bulgaria in Washington. And thanks to our co-sponsors again, and thanks to all of you. All right, thank you everyone. And also on that note, happy Labor Day to Greece, to North Macedonia, to Bulgaria, and to Serbia. And I hope to see some of you at the next concert memorial for Flori Jagoda.